Hey everybody, we just wanted to stop in here and wish you a happy Christmas and to do a little bit of reflecting on what's gone on in this really kind of momentous year.
Yeah, but the first thing we want to do is show you hopefully probably I think the simplest Victorian drinks recipe we've ever featured on this channel. And that's champagne.
Very popular.
Nothing more Victorian than just enjoying a glass of champagne. And we thought this was a perfect time to celebrate as we reflect and look back on the year and to hopefully raise a glass with you all in spirit as we thank you so much for your support and your encouragement on this crazy journey that we've been on.
Here's to you. Well, all of this is fit in around the whole rest of our lives. And so if there's big gaps or things like that, or there's not as many episodes as we might like, it's because this is, being crammed in around real jobs and things like that. The year really kicked off with our good friends over at Townsend's hosting us on the Nutmeg Tavern. Those are great guys. We got to work with them several times before at Locust Grove, and I got to be on the Nutmeg Tavern one time, which was fantastic. And so they were really an inspiration behind a lot of what we do, how we do it, that sort of thing. And it was real honor, real privilege to be with them on the Nutmeg Tavern. And a lot of our followers that we've got now came over from that particular gig. So the Townsend's guys have been, in a lot of ways, the founders of the feast.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. And we wanted to thank them and all of you, if you're watching, if you came over and followed us and joined us here after that. We filmed that. I was just a couple of weeks out from hip surgery. I was still on crutches. I was basically parked on a stool right here behind the bar with the crutches just off camera. It was probably the craziest time ever.
If you go to have joint surgery and they tell you you're going to be good in a month, it's not true.
No,
right.
It's not.
So that's been one of the challenges over the course of the past year. We announced on that episode of the Nutmeg Tavern, when we still thought the recovery was going to be 30 days, that we would be releasing exclusive content on Townsend's Plus, which we still want to do, but that has not happened yet. And so maybe in this new year, we'll be able to do something like that. But that was the start of the year, I think, during a crazy time for us, but it was a wonderful time doing that with the Townsend's guys. And if you're watching out there, we really appreciate you, and we're looking forward to working with you again soon, hopefully.
Yeah, and at that same time, we were planning this crazy trip out west with Aaron Pulsifer and all of our friends.
Yeah. Allison Zan.
Yeah, at South Park City Museum, which were just people who we had entirely gotten to know through this world of Instagram and YouTube, and this idea of could we drive out to Colorado and film videos there. And we made it happen, and that got delayed a couple of months due to a positive COVID case for me. It's not been a great year health-wise, but that's okay. It worked out, and that was just the trip of a lifetime.
It was. There's still 3 or 4 episodes left to come out when this drops, and so we're not done yet, and we'll have our final reflections on the South Park trip when at the end of that series. But we got to know them just because I think I'd had a rough day one time, and I love the 1880s are one of my favorite decades, and so I went onto Instagram and I typed hashtag 1880s. I just wanted to see 1880s stuff. And there was South Park City, Aaron doing the work on that. We got to talking to her. She liked what we were doing on the Victorian bar room. And so we just said, it's like, well, let us know if you want to collaborate. And she made it happen.
Yeah, and everybody there, just hello to everybody. We miss you in the gift shop, the volunteers, the docents, everybody. It was just so incredibly welcoming. Everybody in Fair Play was just so great. I mean, we felt like we were welcomed into this community when we just rolled in for a week.
Yeah, I've never felt so at home at a place I've never been, I think. It was just fantastic. The site is amazing. If you can ever get up there, I can't say enough good about it.
We got to be behind a real Victorian bar.
We did, yeah.
This is our kitchen.
Place. This is a set. Again, shout out to the Townsend guys, because it was being on the Nutmeg Tavern, I really started to understand how sets work. So that's where we got the inspiration for how this all works.
But we got to be in Rachel's place.
Yeah, an actual 1870s saloon, I believe.
Yeah, and we got to fill it that night with the fundraiser.
Yeah.
And it was just magic.
If you imagine being in an old West town, and the only lights are from the saloon, and it's full of people drinking actual Victorian drinks, that's how it was.
And then we had our Christmas episode where we got to finally work with our really good friends at Musée de Venoge.
Yeah, Donna Weaver, Steve Abolt. It was fantastic. I always love the occasions when it's the four of us working on something.
Yeah.
There's just a great vibe that happens. Everything goes off smoothly, it seems like. I knock on wood.
Yeah. And we've been on stuff on their channel before.
Right.
We've done a lot of stuff. So if you go to the Musée de Venoge channel, you'll see us a lot. But we've never gotten them on the Victorian bar room before.
Yeah, and that was such a great experience. We're looking forward to hopefully doing that again. Yeah. We've got an idea for the next Venoge feature. We'll see how that goes. And next year, one of my big priorities is, which is another heavily Venoge-focused project, is getting a film done that we're working on with Alan Bishop from the Alchemist Cabinet, the One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute, Spirits of French Lick, Venoge, Locust Grove, Kentucky Artisan Distillery, all coming together to do a film about the absinthe that was made in Switzerland County, Indiana in the 1830s. So we'll be back with them for that. That's not actually a specifically Victorian barroom, but it's very adjacent to what we're doing here.
Just very cool local spirits history.
Right.
Yeah. So I think the last thing that we want to do, and in fact the biggest thing that we wanted to do, was thank every one of you. We are a small channel. We are a crazy labor of love. Like Brian said, we both have other jobs, other things in our lives, but we just love working on these videos, and it means so much when people actually watch them, and the wonderful comments you all leave. Like, we talk about this. Internet comments are supposed to be awful, but ours are so lovely.
It's just, we've got a great core of interested people with intelligent things to say, good questions, genuine curiosity. And when we started all this, I made sure to keep the equipment basic that we were investing in. And Amy was asking, why don't you upgrade to this or that? It's like, well, let's make sure anybody cares first.
Is anyone out there?
Right. And you did. And that's just great. And we appreciate it. This is all our favorite stuff. And to talk about it with you all is just the best.
Yeah, and you're just all so great. So please keep watching, keep commenting. We really do appreciate it. We read it all. We just enjoy it so much.
Yeah.
All right,
so thank you. We'll see you next year back with the end of the South Park City Museum series. We've got some fun stuff, unusual stuff for our channel coming up on that. And here's to you.